at least in the modern era.
Guys, he's going to talk about the good episodes of Modern Family Guy before he's gonna rage and scream about how Modern Family Guy is a cartoon disgrace.
Road to the Multiverse, and then there were fewer. Mr. and Mrs. Stewie, Brian's Play, Meg Stinks, The Simpsons Guy, Peter Normal Activity, a lot going on upstairs, Big Trouble in Little Quahog, and also back to the pilot.
Wasn't the Family Guy Simpsons crossover pretty shit? And I agree with most of these episodes, they were pretty good.
But everywhere else, you just wonder why I still watch Family Guy.
Why are you watching it if it makes you so angry? That's not healthy at all, dude. Relax, take it easy, take a deep breath, everything will be fine.
Especially when I hear recurring quotes like that time when, or remember back in, when they set up a cutaway gag every time. Okay, now it's time to really get started to yell and rage at a truly once great show.
This is a 40-minute video, by the way. Hope you're ready for a lot of screaming and rage.
Has now become one of the worst shows ever, if not the worst. The first 4 seasons were spectacular, especially season 4.
Is this all because of Mr. Enter's video on Family Guy? Is that the whole reason for this video's existence?
Seasons 5 and 6 weren't that good, but still had some good episodes like Stewie Loves Lois, Meet the Quagmires, and the Stewie Kills Lois / Lois Kills Stewie 2-parter, aka what should have been the last episode of season 6.
There are still some good episodes in Family Guy, but it's just so long ago that I've watched Family Guy.
But starting from season 7...
Oh my god, season 7. How could you?
It's becoming a lot more mean than before, and we'll get to why. You people better beware, because I'm about to say some super harsh things about Family Guy nowadays.
I'm about to say some harsh and ruthless things about Family Guy.
Time to tackle the 10 biggest problems with the show.
What is this penis music? Some people have sensitive hearing!
Before my rage truly begins, Stewie and Meg have not changed whatsoever. Besides, these two are my favorite characters in the whole show. I love Stewie as he still had some amazing moments, including the Road 2 series, and as for Meg, who is played by Mila Kunis, she's the punching bag of the show, which unfortunately I'll cover later on. I mean, what do you expect? Calling her ugly is just so mean!
How dare they treat Meg Griffin like this? Not only this user is a Rosalina lover, but also a Meg Griffin lover, I guess.
She's cute, loving, and needs a kiss or a hug.
Is this user actually simping for Meg Griffin? I was joking, you know. I don't think Rosalina will be happy about this, you know.
And as for the others, 2 of them I'll cover on them more as they're the worst offenders of character flanderization. Lois was a beautiful and sweet mother who played piano music beautifully and cared for her family.
Lois used to be a very good user, but nowadays she's a bad user. How dare she?
Nowadays, she's the most intolerable and annoying female lead in any cartoon. A sex addict and a bitch to her kids and has a god-awful laugh and high-pitched voice.
I guess the character became more insufferable, I guess. The laugh never annoyed me, to be honest.
In one episode of season 7, she gives Meg pills and a suicide book to help kill herself.
To me it's just an unfunny joke. The entire point is that people are being mean to Meg. That's the joke. It's not funny, but still.
Don't believe me? Here, listen!
You just explained what happened. You don't need to show it to us. We believe you.
Oh, and I think Meg said it best.
I will let Meg Griffin talk, I guess. And just wait what Dogs Eating Dog 6 has to say. If it is this important, we need to know it.
Is this coming from my role model mother? The shoplifter, the drug addict, the porn star, the whore who let Gene Simmons and Bill Clinton go to town on her? My point is that with all the irresponsible, reckless, idiotic behavior in your past, that somehow you have the nerve, the arrogance to consistently and ruthlessly point out my shortcomings.
Exactly! She's a slut, a bitch, a bad mom, a bad wife, drug addict, shoplifter, her annoying voice that makes your ears bleed, a cheater, and she's fucking heartless!
You bring up the same point as the clip. What's the point of showing that clip? You can just voice over it. And the worst part about Lois Griffin is she's fucking heartless!
So many people hate her, especially for her voice. Making someone's ears bleed is not funny!
It is really funny coming from the guy that is screaming now about people's ears bleeding.
Talk about annoying and loud!
You're doing the same thing, at the very least it's funny.
Peter and Lois should get a divorce. As for Chris, he just does what the plot tells him to, and he just acts like an asshole. Most of the side characters need to die a horrible death.
That is a little harsh. Did they do something to you, Dogs Eating Dog 6?
Bonnie is a discriminating little shit who has a real problem with crippled people.
Is most of the video just you getting offended by bad jokes? I think most of the characters in Family Guy are not very good people. So are you going to name every wrongdoing of every character in Family Guy?
Seriously, why the hell isn't she in prison? Who wasn't like that before? Carter, well, he's been getting too much attention these days for no reason. And he acts just as bad as Peter.
I know that the All Answers Go rant came after this video, but Jesus Christ, it feels so similar to that video when they were ranting about the Thomas the Tank Engine characters being bad for like 20 minutes. Jesus Christ.
And I have a very big hatred for Quagmire.
I have a very big hatred for Quagmire. I love it that the audio just gets worse because he's screaming that loud.
Back in the older seasons, Quagmire is one of my top 3 favorite characters in the show. He's a likable pervert and says quotes like, heh heh, alright. And how can we not forget his infamous,
oh, giggity 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 goo. Who else but Quagmire?
He's Quagmire, Quagmire. You never really know what he's gonna do next. He's Quagmire, Quagmire.
Giggity 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 giggity, let's have sex.
yep, you guessed it, giggity. But now, he's a sex-crazed maniac.
Maybe now they have over-exaggerated his character a little bit too much, but still he's a pervert, he's always been a pervert.
Who lusts for women and dates them for their bodies and their personalities and has a huge hatred for Brian.
Quagmire always went after women for their bodies. Like, I guess maybe the part of it like hating Brian, but it's still part of his character.
This is official! Quagmire is Brian's nemesis. And Cleveland, as I previously stated, is Black Peter.
So you have nothing to say about Cleveland, even though he had his own show?
There's other characters I don't like that much, like Consuela, who got overused way too much. The only side character I like is Bruce. But everyone else, forget it!
I forgot that Bruce even existed. Most of these characters are just a continuous joke or a stereotype.
Oh, and Joe's becoming a lot more worthless.
Shut the fuck up!
Ha, that was a funny joke, guys. Wouldn't you agree?
Here's when things start to get really lazy. Using live action footage for no reason whatsoever is one of them.
I have to agree on that. That was really annoying when I was watching Family Guy. And when that would happen, I would watch something else on TV.
Some examples include Conway Twitty and that music video of Dancing in the Street. Even though I liked the song, but the music video was unneeded.
Yes, it wasn't necessary, go on.
That happened, and we all let it happen.
It's ridiculous how Family Guy can just slap a realistic poster on a lunchbox that Peter got for Christmas.
This didn't really bother me, because this is not clearly filler, like the live action clips.
Or how about a full-size cardboard cutout of a real-life female?
Female! A real life female?
For fuck's sake! Draw the fucking characters!
It's just a joke, come on, Jesus Christ.
Stock footage or live action footage does not match with Family Guy. If this was South Park or SpongeBob, I could easily understand since it works much better in those shows.
The issue is not that it doesn't work on Family Guy. The issue is because it's very annoying and very long. If this was SpongeBob or South Park, I still would be really annoyed and bored. Because why are you putting 3 minutes of filler? Which has nothing to do with the episode.
Like modern SpongeBob, Family Guy writers just don't bother writing something original.
Imagine an other reality or universe where this video was a SpongeBob video instead of Family Guy.
Most plots have a subplot about some stupid relationship. Mainly Brian. That just end in a breakup at the end. Who the fuck cares?
Why do you care? Why do I care? Because I think it's funny?
There's an episode where Brian dates an older woman, an atheist, a rich lady. The list goes on way too long.
This is just a plot of an episode. But isn't a part of Brian's character that he dates human women? Unless the episode is really boring, maybe then I can agree with you. But I haven't watched Family Guy for at least a few years, so I don't know.
Then there's Stewie and Brian doing some stupid time travel bullshit and something fishy goes on.
I don't know, I don't even remember this episode. Lots of shit happens in Family Guy. Like maybe this is a good episode unless it's very boring and unfunny. But I don't know. I really don't know. And if you do know, tell me in the comments, please. Thank you.
A lot of times too, Peter is doing something incredibly stupid at the beginning of the episode and it ends after halfway, leading to the other plot. Wow! That's fucking original! Not even Sherlock Holmes could distinguish the differences. Oh wait! Anyone can easily do that!
This is really insane. I get it that it's not very funny. But how do you get so upset at Family Guy? How?
We're not idiots! This is 90% of episodes from Family Guy since maybe around 2009, I think.
Most of modern Family Guy is pretty lazy. And they do recycle a lot of episodes. But should you be this angry about Family Guy? Probably not. And old Family Guy was pretty peak though.
The Simpsons had wonderful plots all the way up to even past season 11.
I think The Simpsons became worse around season 10, there are still some good episodes after that, just like Modern Family Guy. And obviously Modern Family Guy is worse than Modern Simpsons.
And then they still get it right sometimes. Bad episodes in that show for some reason, to me, are isolated incidents.
No, you're wrong. Modern Simpsons is still bad, but not as bad as Family Guy. Most of the modern episodes are pretty boring and lazy. I haven't watched The Simpsons for at least a decade, so I don't know exactly how bad the episodes are.
Another thing, and I consider this an extension to this complaint, is ratings traps. Examples? The episode Long John Peter from season 6. It promised a fun adventure of Peter as a pirate.
Guys, it's coming! He's going to rant about not getting his pirate action. Let's go!
What's that? The episode features Peter as a pirate and his crew? What's that? The trailer shows only pirate action? What's that? The whole thing was only 4 minutes?
But we were promised pirate action. I want my pirate action. Not this. And why was it only 4 minutes?
Well, we got you there, bitch! For fuck's sake! Why? That's just pathetic in my book!
I have seen that episode, but I wasn't that disappointed to be honest. Like, so many shows have rating traps. Just don't get too hyped for things.
The Simpsons guy had a really good concept, but instead of focusing on all of the Simpsons and Griffins, they just focus on Homer and Peter.
That episode was very disappointing, but wasn't that episode also pretty bad? Besides being disappointing?
The worst example, though, is Life of Brian and Christmas Guy from season 12.
Yeah, I do remember those episodes. Isn't that the episode where Brian dies and the other episode is where he comes back? Those episodes are pretty infamous and bad. And I will probably be agreeing on some points that Dog Eating Dog 6 is gonna say.
Season 12 promised a character would be killed off. Life of Brian, Brian is killed. Christmas Guy, they bring him back.
Yeah, so I was right about these episodes. I do remember these.
Regardless of petitions or whatever, it was a setup the whole time. The point is, if you're going to have a plot about something cool, I expect it to last the entire episode. If not, then just quit, please.
I was expecting you to say why these episodes are bad, besides saying, why did they bring back Brian? Just a fun fact, people were legitimately upset that they killed off Brian, so that's why they brought back Brian. The episodes are still bad though.
The definition of filler is shoving some unimportant shit into the episode and jacking up the runtime because of likely plain laziness.
You know, Family Guy does have a lot of filler, not as much as One Piece though, at the very least. Or maybe it does have more filler, I don't know.
Family Guy is very notorious for this. Namely, the pacing. Old Family Guy's pacing wasn't too quick and wasn't too slow.
Most of the newer episodes are just too many cutaway gags or unfunny jokes that go on for way too long.
Take a look at this scene when Peter makes dad noises. This really isn't that funny because of how slow and boring and long it can get.
This is what I also mean with just unfunny jokes that go on for way too long. This is also the reason why I just stopped watching Family Guy as a whole. Because this is just very boring and not interesting at all. So I'm just gonna watch something else.
It all started with a god-awful joke where Stewie calls for Lois for 30 seconds straight.
Repeating a joke over and over again eventually will make it less funny. Just like with memes being overused.
And then it grew to bad jokes like Cool Whip.
Cool Whip. You're saying it weird. Why are you putting so much emphasis on the H?
And the notorious smashing the bench with a crane because we can't write good jokes sequences. It's either that or long sequences of dialogue that just go on and on and on.
Overused jokes are never funny. Especially a joke that was never really funny at the first place.
Also, Mr. Booze, which was too long. That's another thing. Some of the songs are just too damn long nowadays. We fucking get it, Seth. You can sing. Congratulations. Nobody gives a fuck.
I don't even remember that song. Was it really that bad? I don't know.
The more infamous ones are the recent chicken fight sequences in No Chris Left Behind and in The Simpsons.
Dude, I love the chicken fights. They're always so goofy. I probably have missed a few of the recent ones that are bad, but they were always a welcome addition to any episode where they were in.
Guy, which is just Homer and Peter beating each other up for 7 whole minutes with boring jokes.
Okay, I agree with that. That is stupid. Why is it so long?
There is no need for shit like this. Another problem is the amount of reused awful jokes.
Overused jokes? Where did I hear that before? It's not something that I said before, right?
Remember that knee joke from the episode Wasted Talent? Yeah, that was funny for the first time, but the writers just need to shove that into the season 7 episode Foxy Lady. What's the difference? Lois trips on her chest and grabs her boob. Lame!
Okay, that's pretty funny. Not a joke, but your reaction.
Then there's these 5-second jingles they overuse. You know, like...
Family Guy, we've been on reviews.
Or...
Japan, they do things that we like.
You don't need to show it 3 times. 1 time is enough. For us to understand that the joke is not very funny. But it isn't that bad, right?
with words on the screen? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about! Stop doing that!
How dare you have subtitles for people that do not speak English? How dare you? That's not funny at all!
The writers are either too lazy or not even talented enough to create a coherent plot.
I'm not gonna disagree with that it isn't an issue for modern Family Guy. I just love it how upset he gets that Family Guy is just so funny to me.
To fill in the time gap of 30 minutes. By this, I mean that the majority show is covered with those lame cutaway gags. Back in seasons 1 through 4, they were kind of charming and little breaks from the plot that had their side of humor. But hey, those would be considered filler as well, but back then, they didn't use as much as they do in the later seasons.
I think back then most of the cutaway gags are really good, and there weren't as many. I think because so many people liked them, they added more cutaway gags into Family Guy, and now we get too many cutaway gags that aren't very good.
It's almost like every 5 minutes, there'll be a cutaway gag there that doesn't even move the plot, make any sense, or is even all that funny.
The older episodes didn't have this issue, but the new ones do. That it felt like every minute there would be a stupid, unfunny cutaway gag that would go on for way too long.
They are either gross, dull, or just plain disturbing in some scenes, like the time they had to show Peter's hairless twin.
I'm personally not a very big fan of gross out jokes. Some are funny though, but Family Guy also has a lot of shock humor. I don't think that is gonna change anytime soon.
In the episode Fresh Air, or Peter showing off his giant ass through Daisy Dukes in The Simpsons Guy. How interesting.
Maybe there's like one person laughing at these type of jokes, but I don't know.
Because nowadays, these cutaways will not go away!
They will never go away, maybe they will get better, I have no idea. If Family Guy will ever be good again, probably not.
They keep happening, and are mostly unfunny to begin with!
The Donkey Kong one you're showing now doesn't look that bad, but I don't think it's that funny. At the very least, it looks interesting to me.
And there's also jokes we've seen before! Especially if they're taken from someone else!
Didn't you say earlier something about reused jokes or something like that? Jesus Christ. And yes, Family Guy reuses jokes all the time.
Oh, and the worst cutaway gag of all time was in the episode Quagmire's Mom from season 13, when they showed us a still image for about a minute.
Did they really do a joke with an image being still for 1 full minute? And they thought this is a really funny joke for Family Guy? I would believe that because it sounds like something that the writers for Family Guy would do.
While they waited for a song to start. Okay, that's not funny. What's the point of that?
It's just an unfunny joke where nothing happens. How long are you going to talk about this?
Okay, that's enough now, and for fuck's sake, it's still going!
I know that he's over-exaggerating his screaming, but still. Why would you be this mad about this? Come on.
Plus there are parts that just get too fucking old! Like the chicken fight scenes. How many times is that chicken going to come back from death?
I don't mind them too much, to be honest. I think they're pretty cool. And they can be pretty good. Like, most of them are fine, I think. I don't remember a chicken fight sucking, so I don't know. Maybe the ones from Modern Family Guy suck, but I don't know.
And fight Peter to the finish, only for him to win at the end, and the chicken giving that menacing stare to the camera?
You know, it's just like Kenny dying in South Park. And the Family Guy, the chicken fight always ends in the same way, I think. And it's also an occurring joke. So why does it matter? Yeah, that is something that Family Guy does? Am I really surprised? Not really.
It is proof that these writers don't know how to write a plot anymore, and either throw in some filler that's either going to bore you or shock the living shit out of you.
We're almost at the halfway point, guys. I really hope this video will end soon. Probably not. Help me, help me, help me!
Just to get some kind of reaction. Oh, speaking of which...
Wow, Family Guy has unfunny shock humor. Who could ever guess that?
I've already mentioned the hairless twin, but how about the time Peter was tricked into getting a free hat in that season 8 episode where he understood the instructions and suddenly his head gets squished by 2 large logs?
It's just shock humor. Like, it's not that bad, Mr. Enter 2.0.
It's bad enough seeing the blood spatter, but do we have to deal with seeing what he looked like afterwards? Just... no!
This is just poorly done gross out humor. Welcome to Modern Family Guy. Is it really necessary to get this angry about this? Jesus Christ.
Also, sometimes they like to show too much detail on a character's face, like the Ricky Dennis character, for example. Correction, it's Rocky Dennis. Or that one Fox News anchorwoman that was canned because of the high-def television.
Wow, unfunny gross out and shock humor. I generally have nothing to say. I feel like he's just repeating himself over and over again. Jesus Christ.
I'd rather watch Krusty the Clown in HD from The Simpsons. Seriously, guys, you better get better animation, and all you want to do is shock us or gross us out.
I don't want to repeat myself a lot, but how many of these unfunny gross out jokes are you gonna show us? Or shock jokes, or whatever.
What the fuck? Many episodes these days have some ultra-violent moments that are just too unbearable to watch. Like Peter disemboweling a giant whale.